ain't working paddles.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is my trial by fire today. I am Sandy Teal, KI5CHP, and I am also club vice president.
Booyah!
Here to take over duties for today.
In fact, known as the steel mate, and you'll need to explain that.
My last name is Teal, and my school email address goes by first initial last name, so it's Steele. So he likes the Steele name for my email. We'll go ahead and do introductions. We'll start over here. Please introduce yourself.
Tom, WA9AFM.
Ron, KC5QC.
Bill, N5NUK.
Mac, K2GKK.
Dwayne, AA5KD.
Terry, W5TJS.
Mike, KI5WJD.
Rich, WB5YBZ.
Paul, KI5KLM.
Bill, AD5BU.
Jim, K5JRR.
Jim, N50HL.
Sam, KI5SAM.
Bill, K5QXB.
Okay, welcome everybody. We are, do we have the secretary's report? Want to go over that?
Minutes were mailed out, so everybody got a copy.
Are there any questions on the secretary's report? Okay. What about the treasurer's report?
That was also emailed out. Since the first of the month, we've had 5 renewals, so we've taken in a little bit of money. I guess this is a good point. I'm looking at renewals, and right now we have 7 people that are at least in their second or third reminder. We've actually got 7 out of that 7. There are 2 that will be dropped at the end of this month if we don't hear from them. Our policy is 4 notices and then we take them off the roster. But I guess it just kind of concerns me that we're down to I think 87 members, and depending on what happens with these 7, we may be down to 80 members, in the next few months. And I don't know, it just kind of bothers me. I kind of want to bring it up. Some of these people, well, one of the ones that's going to drop at the end of this month was one of the freebies that they tested with us. We gave them the free year, and those tend to, just in my experience, kind of some of them stay as members. I did. That's where I started out, but some don't. So, but anyway, I don't know. I just think as a group we need to figure out A, how to get people renewed, and B, how to bolster the membership. If anybody has any suggestions. So anyway, we're we've got a pretty decent little bank account. But we're not rich, but we're doing okay. So that's
Yes, sir.
So I could tailgate on to what Sam said. Reading different articles about building club membership, one of the things that always comes up are license classes. I've already got 2 requests from 2 different individuals asking if OCAPA is going to do a technician club or a technician license class. So that's something we might want to put on the front burner. Doing a tech class, we could do it here. We've got enough classroom space available in the evenings and on weekends that we could mount a tech class if we wanted to. We've got the instructor cadre, we've got the venue. I think if we put the word out, we could probably get a fair-sized class going.
How about the OCAPA net report? Thursday net?
You.
Oh, I was net. Oh, yeah, I was net. We had what? I was really disappointed. It was either a comment on my lack of ability to do that, or other stuff going on, because there were like 8 plus 1.
Yeah.
The regulars were there, and I really appreciate them, but it was kind of slack.
Maybe their electrons are
Let me
frozen.
just throw in there. When I'm coming over here in the mornings on Saturdays, I do an Edmond net, and they only had like 6 in the morning, and a lot of times they have 30. I don't know
Well, DX
It's
is,
not you, Terry.
DX is good, so maybe they're on the HF bands.
Yeah, it's possible.
Of course, the week previous, I think it was 16.
Huge, yeah. Now, there was a class 2.2 flare that wiped out radio yesterday, so I don't know if it's still
I don't
around.
think it's gonna bother VHF local.
No.
Your ears may glow, but I don't think it's gonna bother you.
Your nose may look like Rudolph's, but.
Well, what about, VE testing?
Okay, to explain why we canceled VE testing this particular month. First of all, Hal, KB1ZQ, is up in Stillwater this weekend. He was invited to be an exhibitor at a train show. He just didn't show up. He was asked to be there. Singular honor. Yesterday morning, I got a call from Steve with, I shouldn't say unpleasant news, I didn't know what was exactly going on, but basically we've got some exceptional circumstances, medical emergency in his family. That's why he's not here today. He also has the kit for doing the VE testing. His laptop is set up for all the software. So obviously, since he was not going to be here also, we could not conduct VE testing. One of the things I'm going to suggest to Steve and Hal, this storeroom over here, we have several civic organizations that meet at Wickline, and they keep their materials and banners. You ever been to a Rotary Club meeting? You know, they got banners and signs and displays all over the room. They keep it all in there. And we've got a couple of other groups that keep their things in there. I'm gonna ask, I don't know if there's any proprietary information in the kit, ask if we could just keep the kit in that room, just a little carry around file box. That's at least one thing that Steve wouldn't have to drag around, but it would also be immediately available.
So just to clarify, the reason we didn't test this morning isn't that we didn't have VE examiners, it's that we didn't have either of the two people that have the kits.
Yeah. We had plenty of VE proctors, no problem there. It was Hal, and Steve would have been able to do it without Hal. Hal just makes it a little faster, but with Steve's family medical emergency, he was not be able to attend, and thus we couldn't conduct testing. Yep.
The only thing I would like to add is because the fact that that box does have tests and answers, my preference would be, this is gonna be extremely rare that both of those guys are gone. So it's even more rare that we'd even have to call them. But my preference would be if you had 2 copies of different tech classes, different tests, and 1 copy each of a general and an extra. So that's 4 sheets of paper. Because we wouldn't have to process everything, as long as we had the information on paper, then when the 2 guys get back, then they could sit down with their software, enter that, and go. There wouldn't be tests in there that could be, the security could be breached, and it would be used so rarely.
That's another possibility. That room is normally locked. Anyway, our test,
Is there a Corvette in there?
I'm sorry?
Is there a
Corvette.
Corvette in there?
I never looked.
You get my,
Ron,
you get
go
my
in and see.
point, locked or not, somebody got in there, they, oh, hey, I've got test questions.
Well, actually, these groups have hundreds of dollars worth of banners and signs in there. Yeah, it's their test, but it's not like, it doesn't rise to the level of controlled test materials. But we could always put a little lock on the, it's got a little latch, I think, on it where you can put a little
Well, you know,
padlock.
we could do something like this briefcase that has 2 locking latches on it, and
Yeah.
I don't lock it because it's always in my
But
possession.
I don't think security's gonna be a problem in there. But I'll ask, first of all, if we can even put it in there. I don't think there'd be a problem if we'd wanna do it that way, but what you're describing is kind of a little contingency kit.
very, very, just enough to,
Yeah,
to get through.
this situation probably will never happen
Right,
again,
right, that's
but
right.
we never know. Yep.
My understanding is that the tests are produced by the software that Steve has. If we had another copy of the software on a third person, for example, and the test questions are all published anyway, so the only advantage of a test is that particular set. And if you publish a new test, print a new test for each VE session, the old tests really don't make that much difference.
The main thing is, if we would put it here, all the test materials, support materials would be here. If nothing else, that's one thing Steve doesn't have to lug around. But, I'm sure that, like I said, this situation may never crop up again.
We could always,
But that's the situation we have now.
before we do anything, I suggest you, speak with Steve, cause he is the coordinator for our sessions.
Yeah. But, that's the reason we had to cancel VE testing for today.
We didn't have.
And yes, there was a sign on the door saying that VE testing was canceled, so if anyone showed up, they wouldn't be banging on the door trying to get in.